bad on stream, then we'll kill it and we will just finish it off stream. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But let's see what's going to happen. There's a lot of happens going on. All right, so do you want to talk us through the bans, Mr. Dillon?
So what we expect to see is going to be the usual Thatcher ban. That is most likely going to be the opening ban. Indeed it is. We may see something like a Nomad. You could see an Ace, a Thermite, just a more specific ban in general. We could even see a Monty. But it's really now just up to the attackers what they don't want to deal with. So something like a Nomad could be a good shout. It will actually be the slow, so they're going to try and prevent the vertical play, and that obviously okay with this, so they're going to force the buck. So this should mean we'll see a lot of buck being played. We may actually see a lot of gridlock just because she's got the shotgun, the smokes, and the roam denial. So it should opening things up for a bit more variety on the attack. Meanwhile, defense is going to probably be things like Mirror Kaid, Maestro as well, as Maestro gets banned away. So yeah, Mirror, with Thatcher being banned, it should be a Kaid ban. However, Freeler are defending first, so they may choose to keep the Kaid up.
Which they have indeed.
But,
and they're going to
yeah,
go
they
Mirror
will actually.
instead.
So pretty standard across the board. Sledge a little bit of a surprise, and the fact that Kaid has been left up will be quite interesting to see how the attackers are able to adapt and overcome this pretty hefty disadvantage.
Disadvantage, you'd say? What's the disadvantage, do we think? Not having glossy.
They've got to attack against the Kaid.
Oh, attack, right, yeah.
Well,
Okay,
they also
so
don't have glossy.
Well, they played without glossy in, was it week 1? It was in week 1. And they had no glossy in week 1 when they played against Mutiny, and they did a good job. They won a couple of rounds. Looks like the stream has died, pretty much. Let's come back again. I just don't know what's going to happen with the stream, Dylan. I'll have to play another one offline. This is most disappointing. Most disappointing indeed. Yeah, just want to talk through this round for a moment.
Yep, so as you can see, it will be a standard top floor hold. No big surprises. Looking at the defender lineup, again, no big surprises. Valkyrie, a very good operator to play on this map. Attack, as you can see, the gridlock will come out. That'll be Killer 64, so he was a bit of a player on the gridlock and Maestro, because you can't play the Maestro this time, but with a Nomad as well. Hayden bringing the Ash. Ash, since the awful CNF, has not seen a whole lot of play. So Hayden going to most likely be rocking the G36C. The defense is fairly standard across the board, to be honest. I'm not really seeing any major surprises. Maybe the big surprise could be considered a smoke to not play in bar, but you've got Mute to do the exact same thing if you need to. But you've got a little bit of variety with the Valkyrie. Throw those cans and hopefully get you a good amount of intel. Carbons has actually already taken a little bit of damage, so I'm assuming it's either he's been hit by a gadget or it's just full damage. But yeah, he's actually going to be roaming down below. Jack, meanwhile, just going to be holding the white stairs with the fact that he can look outside if he wants. But alas, to no avail. So the rest of the round is continuing out. Not a whole lot happening. Pre-fire is coming out from Jag. Comes running below. Hayden's actually on the piano when they're going to start shooting in. He's actually just going to drone it for now. We will have a look for that bandit. Unfortunately for him, Colin has already made his getaway and he's going to start peeking through. There's a lot of holes he needs to be careful of. He's going to pre-fire. He's actually using the R4C, so interesting choice since it's nerf. He's actually going to back away for a second and watch in case of a run out on the other western piano window. They'll actually just get ready to drone once again. And it looks like they're going to send him below to try and destroy any positions the defenders would try to hide behind. There's a push to the top of red stairs. I want to say that is most likely Leon. Indeed it is. He gets the first pick on Colin. Good job. There's a fear. Does he see the other player? Jaeger just sat behind the bomb. Does he? It doesn't look like it. He's actually just getting ready. Shoot a black eye. Stop.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Ship deployed, awaiting target.
New camera feed up and running.
Attackers the location.
You can stop worrying about it. Go get him, mate. Deploying jammer.
10 seconds left.
Resupply is deployed.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Initiate jammer.
Attackers are moving.
Jammer activated.
In play! Camera activated. Drone activated. Leave the gate. Online.
Jammer initiated.
Stay clear of the blast!
Deploying Selma.
Bomb located by attackers.
Come on, step on the tracks.
Target detected. Second floor. Tango located. Mags!
Target detected. Third floor.
Jesse wrote onto Clutus. A good job for him. and they're actually starting to pick up now.
That was a nice kill there onto the player in the washrooms. Prophet is going to take down Hayden and get that refrag. It is a 3 versus 3 now, though. Leon's going to go and try to find some useful intel to give his teammates. Leon and Mac are the new players to the team here today, so looking forward to seeing what they are going to be able to pull off. As the plant is going down, but it does get stopped. But Mac is straight back on it as Leon takes down Prophet. C4 is going to go up, and that's going to deny the plant before it manages to get completed. Great play from Colin. Leon picks up that diffuser as Colin makes his way up to try and deny it. Carbon's nowhere to be seen. He comes around looking at the default position, but that's not where the plant is going down, and Carbons gets into a gunfight and just can't hit his shots there. As Maka was planting complete... There's a controller play right there. There's a controller gunfight that we just witnessed right there, Dylan. That was so close for free elo. They were in with a really good chance there, I think. Great play from Colin, but just a little bit too late to get that retake from Carbons. He was just too far off site, and Colin had too far to run up. That red stairs doorway being held tightly by the player up there. That's an oof. That was almost free elo's round. They started to look good.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement. They played it a lot better. They managed to sort of utilize their roamers to a lot more. They were a lot more effective that round than they were the rounds previously. And we saw a nice C4 from Colin. Good attempt. They had a good chance at a retake, but a combination of the gridlock and Carbons not really predicting where the plant was sort of equaled out the advantages they had got. But Orphic winning crucially when they only had 4 players. So that's going to be a huge mental advantage. We're going to see a swap to the double kitchen site. No Kaid being brought despite the fact that he's been left open. Well, Freeland deciding that they're going to run the
Sorry, I was hiding your screen
bandit
there.
combo instead. No worries. But yeah, it's going to be a mute bandit combo instead. We'll probably see Colin around the top floor. He may go for a cheap spawn peek, who knows. But yeah, other than that, we might see 3 anchors. Yeah, it certainly looks like that for the moment. But yeah, we'll have
There's
to
going
see.
to be a big anchor game. Right, sorry, I'm trying to do... could you do me a favour? Could you put an announcement in the server that we are playing offline, please? You should have the ability to do that, I think. Thank you. Right, sorry, stream. While Dylan's doing that, so I'm struggling to do all these different things at one time. This is why Dylan's here with me, to help me with this sort of stuff, because too much stuff is happening these days. Right, so Colin's going to get that early kill, playing on Vigil. That takes down Hayden. That's the entry fragger down, and Hayden is a beast. He does get fragged, so for him to be taken out of commission so early on is really positive for free elo, and that could be a big factor for them. Although, to be fair, Leon coming in with his 6 KD right now. Leon's the man they need to take out. But I say that, and Cluto just rips him to shreds with a beautiful headshot there. We missed it, but I can only assume it was beautiful. We didn't hear many shots going out, but Cluto does win that gunfight, and that puts us in a 5 versus 3. So at the moment on Kitchen, free elo looking like this could be the site for them. They are managing to hold it successfully against the entries. Now it's the more support-based players that are going to be coming in to try to make their way into the site. They don't have the diffuser in hand. That is currently sitting right there in VIP. For some reason, it only shows you the name when you're above, so that's a little bit annoying, but it is there in VIP. Drones are going out to see if there's anyone around there, to see if it's safe to pick up that diffuser. It is clear, but we do have a player roaming around here on the brown stairs or pillar stairs, depending on who you ask. Colin still doing his job as a vigil, wasting time and trying to get those picks, but more importantly, waste time. That is the big thing to do when you are a roamer. Kills secondary, and Maka though does take down Vigil and shut down that roam game with 1 minute left on the clock. That means in a 4 versus 3 with the freezer wall, it sounded like we're starting to get opened up, but it's not. It's denied by the signal jammer. So we do need an attacker upstairs opening up the floor to take that out of play. That is going to be Killer 64, but he isn't opening up the top. No, he has got the hole. He's trying to shoot it. He gets it eventually, and that wall is now going to get opened up by those Selmas, allowing access for the attack. Now we do have Jack playing here as mute, sitting on copy, or SMWD as some of us might call it, with that shotgun to play the close-up game. He does have the laser equipped. Was that the laser or was it just the red dot sight? I think it was just the red dot sight. But pre-fire's going out from Mac. He knows roughly where players are going to be because that's a very common spot. Joshi is down. Mac is dead. Killer 64 is the last man standing. He's going to manage to take down Jag as Cluto finishes off Joshi, but in a 3 versus 1. This is going to be the first round on the board to free Elo, just as Killer 64 managed to take down Cluto as he pokes a little face around the doorway there, just a little bit hungry for the frags. Possibly. Didn't go his way, but they had the manpower, the count to still win the round.
Yeah, so free Elo showing a lot more life. They've been gradually improving as the rounds are going on, and they finally looked in control for pretty much the entirety of the round. So good job for them. They will be heading to Reading next, so we're going to actually get to see some Oryx, which is always interesting to see where he's going to be jumping around, but it's actually going to be sick pick to Vigil. So unfortunately, we won't get to see any fun ops there. You can usually tell it's Reading basically by the castle, so the side of Orphic know that it's not really going to be a bar hold. But yeah, free Elo that last round looking a lot better. They got early picks, they managed to keep the advantage, and then were very, very strong when it came to the execute in terms of anchoring. So that's a round they can be happy with. But now the big question is, can they sort of keep that momentum going? Because they're on the fence. They do kind of want to win this half 4-2, and it was 2-1 to the attackers, so not exactly what you want if you're a free Elo fan. However, you know, that last round was quite promising, so we'll have to see if sort of Orphic can disrupt this momentum, start to really snowball these rounds.
You said there, if you're a free Elo fan, like there are people out there that aren't free Elo fans. Who are these people, Dylan, that you refer to that might not be free Elo fans? That's what I asked myself. Let's take a look at some stats for this map as you talk about it. You can't see them, Dylan, but the VOD can. Cafe overall is 34% attacker favoured, with Fireplace and Mining being 100% attacker favoured, but this is Reading and Fireplace, which is 67% attacking favoured. This data is taken from the last season of this league. It's not from ranked, it's not from EUL or anything like that. It's just from this league last season. So, by rights, free Elo have no business winning this round. And if Orphic continued the way they have just started this round, which is with Colin getting taken out and Jag very quickly following him to a grave, an early grave afterwards, then I do see that stat remaining as being heavily in favour of the boys of Orphic. Now, we do have a pre-play C4 there from Carbon, so he gives it a little ping, so his teammate knows exactly where it is. I guess that's to give the call to say, hey, if you see someone going onto that spot, give him the call, I'll pull the trigger, and we'll blow the legs off. Let's see if that's going to play out, or if it's not going to play out. As we see, Carbons does manage to take down Leon with that C4, so it was very well placed. Great teamwork there from the free Elo boys as we go to a 4 versus 3. Joshi has control of Cocktail. He's going to peek around. He knows there's a player there. But Profit is going to come off better as Carbons takes down Hayden as well. And that's a 3 versus 2. It could be that free Elo is actually going to break the rules when it comes to the stats of last season and could win this round. But we are only halfway through. We've still got Maka in the game. We've still got Killer 64 in the game running with his 5 KD. Carbons, Pluto, and Profit have had some issues in this matchup, but as long, well, there's Maka gone. Killer 64, last player standing, and as long as he is going to be standing there in one position, just watching the same angle, not very much is going to happen here. He's going to make his way pushing on for Cocktail. He doesn't know if there's a player still up there. All he knows is that his valuable diffuser is up here, and he needs to get that just to increase his chances of being elo to get a win. Should free Elo, for some reason, Dylan, not be on site. But they are going to remain on site as Gridlock, played by Killer 64, being very, very cautious. Carbon's playing it very, very sensibly, just down on the white stairs here, ready to get a flank as Killer 64 is waiting for someone to just run into Laundry. I'd like to see free Elo playing this reserved until the round is over. I don't want to see them running out like Pluto did in the previous round. I realised he was worried that Plant might go down. It wasn't just about the kills, but I'd like to see them just holding on until that timer has literally ticked 0 to take this round to go 2-2. But we do see Carbon starting to make his way up. He's going to make Killer 64 a little bit nervous, who is just going to push his way towards the site. But Pluto is standing there waiting with the 416 trained very closely onto that rotate. And Killer 64 just runs into his crosshairs. He's like, dude, free kill, take it. And he does. And that's another round that goes to free Elo, making it 2-2 at the end of round number 4.
It was a really good start for Orphic as they got the Maka with the opening pick onto Colin, but once it came to actually trying to dislodge the defense on the top floor, they just couldn't do it. It was, well, it wasn't really what you expect, especially for reading. Once you usually get an opening pick, the defenders have a hard time sort of holding this top floor, but Freelo looking very comfortable there. They got the roof rags, they got the gunfights, and they started winning out that matchup. So it's now 2-2. Freelo definitely starting to build that momentum, but now they will probably, they'll be heading back to Bar, and that's the site they've got a 0% win rate on. So hopefully for Freelo, third time's the charm for Bar, and they can win this round.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do here. I mean, they've had 2 cracks at it. I think they looked a little bit better in round number 2 than they did in round number 1, just from what I saw. I know we didn't see much of round number 1 because I was trying to sort some stuff out. But I think they looked better in round number 2. Even though, well, yeah, round number 2 was the one, right, where Carbons had that slightly scrippy gunfight with Maka at the very end.
Yeah.
They were looking a lot better in that round, so hopefully for them, they've learned enough to be able to turn it around in this one and maybe make this a 3-2 in their favor. The fans are favoring Orphic. Jag is going to take some damage early on as he runs past that window to the pre-fires. That's a shame for him. He's down to 75 HP now. It's not a huge issue, but it could be the difference between one missed bullet or one extra bullet hitting him and taking him out of commission. So not ideal for Jag on the Frost, but it is what it is. It's going to happen. Hayden using the utility to take out anything that is on that wall. That will be the signal jammer of Mute was likely to be on there. Oh, but no, the signal jammer's up. There's still another one there, Dylan, holding onto that wall. They can open the left side, the left panel, but they can't open the right side. Hayden needs to look a little bit more carefully before he sent that utility out, because that, to me, looks like it was a little bit wasted. Now, I'm not sure what you make of this pocket map right here, Dylan.
Well, it's probably for a last-minute push to try and rush into Cocktail. An attacker is more than likely going to try and go left in that doorway, so hopefully, for Jag.
That shield and, yeah.
But I do think it would be spotted because most attackers come, if they're pushing into Cocktail, come from Freezer, so they'd probably see it.
Yeah.
But hopefully they can, the defenders can use that to their advantage. Well, not now with Carbons going down, but they can use it to their advantage when the attacker has to aim at the map. And hopefully that few milliseconds.
Hayden's taking this aggressively, pushing his way. Oh, but Jag with the 9mm does manage to take him down. 4 versus 4. That's a nice play there from Jag. Unfortunate for Hayden, who had a good angle, but he's just a little bit too slow. I think he had his utility out at the time, if I noticed correctly. And all of a sudden, it's frag after frag after frag, as we are now in a 3 versus 3 with 1 minute and 11 left on the clock. Colin holding this power position here in the freezer. Very difficult to dislodge at times with Profit playing up close on this doorway. He doesn't need to watch heaven. No one's coming that way. No one's repelling in. He needs to be focused on this doorway right here, pushing into Cocktail, because he will know if someone's coming from anywhere else, as they have to get past Pluto, who is right here, pretty much where the plant went down in the previous round on this site. So all is open, and Cluto in that position does manage to take down Maka, and he is going to very smartly back out and rotate his way around to join his teammates from the white staircase. Great play there from Cluto. And a good rotate, very, very smart, as Josh is going to start to push his way down. We see the player just making his way onto pallets there. That's Cluto at the top of the white stairs. But Colin is going to take down Joshi in that position in freeze, a very strong position. And yet again, Killer 64 is left in a 1 versus 3. He's going to spot Jaeger. That's Cluto. Were any of those shots actually even hitting? It looked like he was hitting him, but just not really doing much. He hears the C4, he's going to back out. 1 versus 2, 5 seconds to go. He needs to get 2 kills. He's got no diffuser. This is another round going to free Elo. We are going to see them go 3-2 up as we move into the last round of the first half. This isn't what people were expecting to see, Dylan.
No, it's not. And
that's
particularly
another
after those first 2 rounds
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, particularly after those first 2 rounds, it was looking like Orphic were going to start to steamroll, and then Free Elo may get the odd round here and there. But these last 3 rounds, they've looked really, really strong. and Orphic just seem a little bit clueless as to what to do. You know, they've been getting good starts. They get the opening picks, but they just can't close it out. And it's just really unfortunate for them because they're starting rounds off good. They sort of seem to stall in the mid round, and then that late round is where it all starts to fall apart. But you know, you can't take anything away from Freelo. They're playing this a lot better. But this is their last round on the defense. We'll have to see what their attacks do starting from next round. But they'll be heading back down to the double kitchen where their winning streak, or well, where their winning streak began. Hopefully, for their sake, it continues.
Yeah. Well, kitchen and service they are going to head to now. This is the kitchen and service? No, I'm thinking the coastline. It's kitchen, service, kitchen, cooking. This is the first site that they had actually managed to take a win on, and they did it with time as well, something which we saw a fair bit last night, Dylan, as you'll remember. What will happen this time round, it's anybody's guess. Let's remind ourselves of some stats for this site as well, because we didn't talk about those earlier. If we look at the kitchen service, kitchen cooking site, it's actually 33% attacking favoured. So by rights, every 3 times this site is played, it should be won by the defence. The question is it going to be free elo that are those defenders that will win it? Well, you would assume that that would be the case because, of course, you know, they're not playing it 3 times. They're playing. It doesn't matter. Fact is, this round could be an attack or a defensive win, but with momentum, you've got to think that it's going to be going free elo's way. However, there's going to be the hunger from Orphic to show that this new lineup is not to be trifled with, and they are going to be wanting to take this win desperately. There's no way they're going to want to lose to free elo tonight, especially after the way they beat free elo in the league stage of last season. Now, Colin playing right here by this window. Oh, he didn't see the player. I thought he knew someone was there. Nomad manages to get that pick. Joshi spins upside down, takes down Colin, and there is the body disintegrating into nothingness as we just see the little vigil icon left. That's most unfortunate there. Beautiful black eye here, giving the pings out. Yellow ping to... Oh, what a play from Carbons. Yellow pings Maverick's head perfectly. Leans out, pre-fires it, gets that kill. Nicely done to Carbons, making it 4 versus 4. So one beautiful kill after another beautiful kill here for these 2 teams, just trading those frags. As we are getting a full take here on Bakery, the most common take you're likely to see on this map, in my opinion. And that prep ball is getting opened up. But Jazz going to take down Leon. Free elo have come into life. Are they in the heads of Orphic now? So Orphic just aren't winning the gunfights as easily as they have been lately at the start of this matchup. This is an interesting one, Dylan. This could go either way at this point. I'm excited to see how this is going to play out as this 4 versus 3. They've still got 1 Selma left in the pocket, and they can use that on the main wall, but it is bandited, so they're going to have to take those out first, which means 1 player is going to have to head upstairs if they want to take those out. They cannot risk having someone just wide peek that doorway to try and take out those batteries from the door. They're going to have to try something else. But they are going to try it. Jones are going to go in to give the intel, but there's a misplay from them. Profit just pokes his face around. And for the first time in a while, Killer 64 is not going to be left in a 1 versus 3. Instead, it's Maka and Joshi in the 4 versus 2. Maka tries a little 360, but he doesn't manage to make it pay off. Instead, it goes against him as he does fall to his death. Leaving Joshi all on his own in the 1 versus 4. This is even worse than the previous rounds. Previous 2 rounds for pre-elo. Sorry, for Orphic. I'm so excited I'm making so many mistakes. Joshi has 2 air jabs in his pocket. I'd like to see him put 1 at least on the bakery door behind him to make sure he doesn't get flanked, and possibly 1 there on prep door, but he's not going to. He's just going to... Okay, he's going to send 1 up there to be eaten up by the ADS. As the C4 comes out... Oh, he shoots it out in midair. Beautifully done there by Joshi, but... just as he does it, Jag with the SMG-11 stands up and says, no, 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 my friend, not today. You're not making it through here. And he does get the kill, and that makes it a 4-2 split in free elo's favor at the end of round number 1. Sorry, at the end of round number 1, at the end of the first half. You see, I just can't contain myself, Dylan. Can't contain myself.
The tables have turned because free elo are looking damn near unstoppable. They're losing on average about 1 to 2 players each round since round number 3. And well, now they're on the attack. Winning 4-2, you know, is what we expect in defense. Interesting way to do it by seemingly managing to lose bar twice in a row before starting to win. But yeah, it does seem that they've made reservations in Orphic's heads at the minute, because Orphic just have no answer. They're just not really playing sort of the rounds right. You know, almost every round they kill Colin off first, and well, I mean, he's the roamer. He should waste time. He doesn't really seem to waste a lot because he dies within about the first 30 seconds. But then I don't know what it is because they just don't press their advantages and just can't seem to attack and especially execute. Luckily for them, the pain of their attacks is now over and they can focus on their defenses instead. They are going for this top floor hold. They brought sort of an older lineup with the one Mai and the Jaeger where you just shove everyone behind Pixel. That was sort of the player that around a year ago. You shoved somebody behind Pixel and so many magnets and ADSs, it was unbelievable. So,
which is what we're getting here today. We've got 3 ADSs there.
We'll get the magnets thrown out as well. It'll be a Goya shield. Selma gates, not Stammer gates. Arena gates get in place. It's looking like a stronghold on paper, but it'll be interesting to see how Freelo start their attacks.
Well, they are going to start it off by all climbing off of their private yachts and climbing up the front of the building. They're going to do a top-down as you would do normally. It's one of those maps where typically whatever site's being played, you just start at the top and work your way down. Even when the site is top floor, people very rarely start anyone at the bottom and work their way up to pinch on any roamers. Instead, the roam game is generally taken care of by drones and just finding if there's anyone there. And if there is, then maybe they'll get chased down. Alternatively, you've got Nomad available to you. I mean, Free Elo have decided not to bring Nomad, which is interesting. I mean, Cluto is a very good Nomad player from what I've seen, but he's going to be playing on Ash. So, you know, you don't necessarily need that clear because you can just set up air jabs on the staircases, all of the possible staircases that you need to stop those flanks from coming off. But that's not what Free Elo are doing here. They are just starting at the top, working their way down and not worrying about that flank control. Now, we do see Jag get taken down early as he repels up to that white staircase window. It is going to be Joshi 2K1 or 2001, as I'll call him, who is going to get that pick onto Jag and take him out of play. Now, that is Buck. He's not as important for this site if you're pushing from the top. Not as important. I'd like to see the play from Buck where he's more down below, pushing defenders out of position from underneath in the reading room, get Cocktail nice and clear, and maybe keep people away from default plant spots. But that's not what they're going to go for, and not what they can go for as Buck is out of play. We are going to get that refrag coming out from, I believe it was Colin, I think. Was it Colin or Carbons that got that killed out? I can't recall. But Profit is going to take down one of his own, and Free Elo starting to look fairly good here on attack. Colin has taken a load of damage, as he is going to be responsible for holding down the position onto Heaven. Pluto repelling up here onto Cocktail window, which is an interesting choice. Smoke's going to be playing back here in Cocktail. He knows there's a player inside. That is Colin, who does get taken down because he's so low on health, and Profit's going to fall as well, even though he does manage to take down Killer 64 with him. Leon is just a hair's breadth away from being in a grave. Can Cluto and Carbons, with 22 seconds remaining, pull something out of the bag here? Can Colin get revived? No. Carbons is just going to walk past, which is probably the right play to make. Free Fire's going out onto Shaiko's spot. No diffuser is in hand. That's back in Freezer as the gas grenades are going to go out, but it's going to get picked up as Carbons and Cluto manage to, out of nowhere, just sprinting through that gas grenade, shooting Jaeger in the back as he runs away to try and hold for time. That was very, very close to the bone for Free Elo. They just managed to win that one. That was an interesting round. Very, very slow. That was the very definition of 20-second meta, I think, Dylan.
Indeed it was. Again, Free Elo, they're the team with the opening death. They lose Jag very, very early on, so they can't make use of any of his vertical destruction by sending him below. Yet they still managed to end up winning their gunfights and winning the round. It was a last-ditch effort, but it was a good, successful effort nonetheless. And, well, 5-2. You got to say, Free Elo have been looking really, really strong now. 5 rounds in a row. They'll have to attack double kitchen. However, if their attacks are basically in line with how that last one was, you know, even with the 20 seconds left, they can rely on their gun skill of Carbons and Cluto left. You know, they've got the gun skill to, hopefully for their sake, to clutch out the round. But yeah, it looked good for them. So therefore, they, in theory, should hopefully be able to keep up this sort of snowballing, because it's getting harder and harder as each round goes on for Orphic to bring this back. But Orphic, since that second round, they've just started to fall apart a little bit. So hopefully for this, they can turn things around. But from the way they've been playing, it's not really like
what do we make of this? What do we make of this setup? Now, they've reinforced the garage door. Now, for me, when I play this site, I will play someone like Hibana, will reach open this wall, get the long angle here onto this wall to open that up, and that gives you a line of sight down into Coffee, and also, obviously, the ability to move into the site. But, here, just Orphic have just opened up holes absolutely everywhere and reinforced stuff. I mean, I don't know what happened there because I was too busy looking at the setup. I should have been watching what was going on. Just didn't expect so much in the first 30 seconds. But so many holes have been opened. And Free Elo actually haven't even got that close to the site yet. They've just been picked off as they've started to even make their way into the building. So this is a very aggressive play coming out here from Orphic, who seem to have just taken the option to open up holes everywhere, maybe defend off-site at the start, pick off the players as they make their way into the building, and then just turtle up. And it's worked well. I mean, Carbons and Jag, just hardly any health between them, whereas Leon and Maka are holding firm with full HP. So really, it's down to Free Elo here to just take some gunfights and not get hit by any bullet. I mean, these two boys need to be like they're in the Matrix right now, just ducking and diving between bullets as they shoot back themselves. Otherwise, this round is pretty much over for them. They managed to just tickle Leon a little bit, who does take some damage. He's going to pre-fire with the hope of hitting a shot. To be fair to him, just one bullet would have done the damage that it needs. He does jump over that prep window. Angle's being held by Jag, and he does manage to take him down. It's a 2 versus 1 against Maka, who's got the shotgun and the SMG-11. Can these two players from Free Elo work together to pinch him and get a kill or the plant here? They've got the diffuser. They were in sight. The gas grenades are going out. A plant is perfectly possible in a certain position, and it is starting to go down. Do Orphic have the intel? Pre-fires go out from Jag to hold him back. It is going to do the job. Diffuser is planted. They just have to fall back now and use those holes against Maka. But Carbons is going to fall as he peeks around that window. He just needed to hold. Now it's down to Jag to hold back very, very carefully, but he is going to make his way out. Maka's going to spot him, take him down, and he is going to hit that diffuser. And for the first time in a long while, Orphic are going to win a round and make it look like they are actually here to play a game of Rainbow Six Siege.
Orphic left all their hope on one player, and that one player was Maka, and he delivered. Really, really well played from him. Bit of a misplay, you could say, from Free Elo. You know, they're both on 1 health. They don't really need to start peeking. They've got the plant down. They can wait, and they could hopefully, you know, sort of set up counter angles and then set up a crossfire. So when Maka tries to go for one, the other can shoot him in the back. Yeah. But
they knew where he was. They knew where he was. All Carbons had to do was just sit there in the corner, crouched, and just wait until he hears man coming around. But no, he peeked his way out, and yeah, just didn't work out.
Exactly.
Sorry to interrupt.
Again, interesting sort of start to the round where it was an absolute bloodbath at the main entrance. I do think those two walls were reinforced because it was a freezer rotate. If you reinforce those, you can sort of have some more comfort where if you're going to be shot from anywhere, it'll be VIP. And you'll have players hopefully in VIP by ground desk, who can, or ground bar, sorry, who can tell you if people coming that way, so it lets you rotate straight up the stairs easier. So that's one way, I think, that is, I think that's one reason why it was reinforced. Other than that, is maybe it helps with supporting the heavy main entrance hold, because this is
the amount of manpower being put onto that pixel position. Orphic, they're a team that seem to like making holes. Everywhere you look, there's holes. I mean, this is standard, this one here, I'll allow that. This is unusual. This one here into freezer. Something new for 2021 people, something new is to open this up using a room gate. I mean, I guess the play here is you've got the man behind the shield. He can just watch through that budget mirror window. And I say budget, actually, to be fair. I mean, no, it is a budget mirror. I'm going to stick with the budget mirror window. Just look through the slits in the budget mirror window and then just pop up, get the frag. I mean, normally you'd have a smoke playing here, but with the Aruni gate, that denies a lot of the reason why you would have a smoke playing here, simply because you can't throw any gas grenades out through that hole should you need to. And they are actually doubling up on this and putting a Aruni right here in the washrooms as well. So they are doubling up on this shield play, which, along with the Wamai playing here in Cigar Lounge itself, I mean, this kind of effectively stops this room from being taken. And it's going to kind of force Free Elo to come at it from another angle, which it looks like they're starting to do. We can see that Colin has already dropped onto the top of Red's stairs. We've got Hayden taking some gunfire, possibly from the puck, repelling on this window, as Hayden is going to get taken out of play by Colin straight away. He's going to try to find a cam that's going to give useful intel to his teammates so that he can help them win this round, because they do need to win a round. And let's make no mistake, if they don't win this round, then things don't look too good for them. Macca's going to spot that one player on the bulletproof camera. They know where he is, as Cluto is going to come around to rappel back up to this white window. And he's going to be in a good position to take out Rooney if she continues to peek that way. Stun grenades are going to burn that ADS and the magnets, as we are going to get that shield taken out of commission here by Ash playing on the window. But instead of holding there to get a kill onto the Rooney, he is going to rappel up to the roof, hoping that they'll be able to take Rooney down from Cigar Lounge, but they're not going to be able to, as Rooney is still alive, and Leon is going to manage to get one pick from a player making his way in there through the default wall, and he is going to try and set that Rooney rear gate back up, which is successful. So that locks off that avenue of entry for the attack. Gas grenades are now going to go out, and Free Elo are starting to think about how they can attack this differently. We've got carbons going down below, gunfire coming out, making Macca move out of position. Joshi holding white stairs. Macca holding a very common position here behind the third. Well, that's what you get when you hold common positions. You get grenades thrown at you and then finished off with a gun, as Colin does take control of the site and Cocktail, but that control is taken back by Leon, but he's very quickly refragged there by Carbons and Profit, taking down a player each, leaving Killer 64. We've seen it all before, 1 versus 3. Plant is successful. Free Elo looking very, very good here tonight, Dylan, despite a shaky first 2 rounds. And they do take the win.
Yeah, exactly. They've been playing really aggressive. I'm liking these sort of, these sort of Orphic random holds, like that sort of, let's have 3 shields looking at Pixel in piano, and then hopefully disrupting any sort of push from there. It didn't really work out, unfortunately. Losing the ball might really early on seem to stump that sort of defense, but I think you've got to give it to Free Elo. They really took the initiative and then started playing the round their way instead of letting the defenders dictate how they played. So we saw there they went for a sort of, we'd send one player in, see what he can do, see what intel he can get, and that was Colin. He got a kill before getting refragged, and then there was intel coming out from there as well. So there was intel from where he died, and then you could send another player in and stuff like that. And it really, really worked out because they didn't know what to expect. So by doing this sort of method, they could sort of negate any sort of risk by refragging. It was a risky sort of plan, but luckily for them, it worked out. But we will be heading to Reading as Orphic. They need to win the next 3 rounds in a row if they want a chance at winning and take it to overtime. Otherwise, we'll just see Free Elo close this one out here.
So we're going to see another... Actually, I was going to say another interesting setup from Orphic, but to be fair, looking at this is pretty standard, reinforcing this wall and this wall, putting a hole here. Normally you'd have mirror, but of course mirror isn't in play, so that's absolutely fine. We do have signal jammers stopping this wall from getting opened, which is very normal. This rear gate going up to slow down a push and to burn a little bit of utility on the part of the attackers. And some reinforcements going up here. So this, and a castle barricade over there for good measure, which again is normal, hatch open. So a pretty standard setup coming out from Orphic on this one. Everything kind of where you'd expect it to be. But nothing interestingly holding off this wall. It could be that Smuke just hasn't got to it yet. He's got no signal jammers left, so that wall is going to remain free for the taking should an attacker decide to come in that way. Now, the breaching charge is going to go up on the door. That drone is just going to spot Jaeger running away. But if he just bashed that door open instead of chucking a drone in, he might have had a free kill there onto Jaeger as he run off. But Pluto is up here on Cocktail window. He's going to be responsible for trying to dislodge the player up here, which is going to be Hayden playing on Castle. Now, I talked earlier about Hayden being a beast. Normally he's on frag duties, but he's going 3 and 9 right now, Dylan, and playing Castle. This isn't what we normally expect from Hayden. He's going to take out that one drone. We've got 2 players up here playing on these windows. I'm sensing a joint hot breach. We are getting a joint hot breach. He can only shoot at one at a time. He's going to turn around. He's going to look to the player running in at the far end. And he's going to get into a gunfight with the one that came in on New Balcony, but that is going to be won by Colin, who just storms in and takes down 2 players. C4 goes off, but it's nowhere near Colin. And he sees Leon playing down below. That's the triple kill for Colin. 4 versus 2. This isn't looking good right now for Orphic, as they very quickly lost 3 players to just 1 man. And Free Elo still have 4 left. Make that 3 as Profit does fall. He drops the diffuser. He's not dead yet. He can get revived. He's going to move to safety. He probably will get picked up. Free Elo now have 1 minute and 10 seconds left. They have 6 drones available to them. However, only 4 of those are actually in people. 5 of them, now that Profit is revived, 5 of them are available for actual use. They've got all the time in the world, assuming the world only had 56 seconds remaining, to get all of the info and start to make a push. Gemini is going to go out. Where's it going to go to, though? It didn't drop through Laundry Hatch. If it had, it would have found the player there, but he's going to move the Gemini into the Laundry anyway. They know that Mac here on mute has pulled back into sight, as we've got IQ trying to open up that doorway, but Mac is going to get pushed back by the gunfire from above. Killer 64 playing off site is going to take a whole load of damage. 30 seconds to go. No hard breach utility left available to open up the main wall, so they have no choice but to push in through the reading room doorway, which is now available. 1 player is going to drop into Laundry, another one on White Stairs who's going to force Macca back. Plant is going down. Macca needs to get back into sight to deny this. He's got an idea it's going off. He doesn't know where it is. He looks to the default spot, but it's wrong. Killer 64, not in a 1 versus 3, but is in a 1 versus 4. And Free Elo managed to take him down. And Free Elo, against the odds by most of the predictors, take the win. What do you make of that one, Mr. Dylan?
That was a great round from Free Elo. They've been playing this map so well, and it's great to see them have some more success. You know, last season they were a bit inconsistent, but this season, from that performance, they're looking pretty good. Of course, we need to see them against quote-unquote better teams, and by that I mean, you know, sort of the top 3. But it's a good start. Yeah, you know, you've brought in Profit, you brought in Carbons, you brought in Cluto, and it looked pretty good. They look good. And I'm sure this is just the start. Without Glossy, I believe it's Colin now in charge, so who knows where they could go. But that was a good first impression, and it's good to see, you know, the underdogs coming out on top.
Yeah. Well, that was a great game, to be honest with you, Dylan. Right, because we're not on stream, it means that this VOD is going to end right about now. So thank you for the analysis there and for the words. Apologies to the people that joined to watch the stream but didn't get to see it. We do appreciate you coming along, but hopefully you'll watch the VOD and enjoy this one. So Dylan, thank you very much for your help tonight. Apologies that we've had another failed stream. Like I say, I did test it last night after the game a little bit later. It was cooler though, I guess, because it was starting to get a bit darker, so maybe that helped. With this humidity, the stream just isn't going to be happening. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Hopefully we won't have to play all the games this week offline, but we'll see what happens. Thank you very much to everyone who's watched the VOD and who tried to watch the stream. Those who bet on Free Elo, you'll get your Twitch points back. You'll get your 2 XP channel points back. So thank you very much. Right, well, we will see you tomorrow night, hopefully, on a live stream for Athena versus Apollo. Thank you for watching, and yeah, see you next time.